Welcome to our program, and in addition to our painting lessons, we're also going to start interviewing some local artists in our area to see how they come up with their creativity and how they paint. And so we're going to have them on Art and Imagination. Anything that you can imagine, you can draw. Let's go to the studio. Hello, welcome back to Art and Imagination. We're going to be finishing up our painting today, and we're just going to be tweaking it. And that's the fun part, because it's the detail part that we're going to be doing. And that's what I like. And this particular watercolor is not a loose watercolor, but it is a tight watercolor. And I like to do tight watercolors. And it's one of my favorite things to do because I get to paint the objects that I'm seeing. If it's loose, it's just all over the place. But anyway, we'll be doing some of the loose watercolor pretty soon. So let's get this going and let's start painting. Hope you're all ready to go. And as you can see, I'm just going to I have already put some brighter flowers in here, and I was working on the trunk of this tree here, and it kind of popped it right out, so I like that. So I'm going to be working on this branch here to make it a little bit darker over the water so that we can see it. That's a little bit too dark. So even though we may make a mistake at something, it isn't that we can't fix it, and we can definitely fix it. So this is the light side, so we're working on the light side too at the same time. So I've been putting this kind of a yellow ochre a little bit in the trees to make the yellow stand out a little bit more. And it's springtime in this valley, so it's really nice, and I hope you're enjoying springtime weather wherever you're at, because we sure are. We've had some wonderful spring days and have enjoyed every one of them. And I like to paint outside, so it's really great that we're getting spring weather. I like to plein air paint. And I stand out on my deck and I watch the birds come in, and I'm painting birds. You can't always, they move too much, so you can't always catch them real quick. But as you can see, that I'm putting in the yellow on some of these where the light's gonna hit. I guess that's what I wanna say. And I'm kind of straightening that up a little bit and cleaning it up. It's called cleaning up your watercolor. So now I'm going to go over here to this tree and start putting some light. Now I'm not going to go too much into the leaves up here because we're going to be working on those too. But I'm going to put some more light into this tree trunk so that we can decipher from the valley behind it. So I like to call them valleys because that's what they are. So I just bring it down in between here. I won't put too much there, but, and now I'm gonna go back into the water. And if you will notice, my water is a little bit dirty, which is really nice. Don't throw out your watercolor water because it can come in really handy. Your dirty water, I mean to say, because it makes a beautiful sky on another painting, if that's what you like. I want to put a little bit dark holes in here so where the birds can come. And this will pop this particular tree right out. Let's put a branch here. I think it needs something there. So let's see, you can place anything that you want in your tree on your painting, but I like to put little dark spots in too, so that it looks more like a tree trunk, and going into the dark shaded areas with the dark brown, which is kind of an umber. And I'm going to go in here with another brush here And I always have a brush in each hand usually. And I'm going into the umber again. And with a fine tooth, fine, let me get it over here, fine bristles. And I'm going to put just little strokes in there so that it looks like stalks in these flowers. Not going to do too many, just here and there, because we're going to fix that too. But anyway, all right, let's go up to the trees. Now we've got some dark and we've got some light in these trees, leaves up here. And I've got 3 greens here, and I've got a very dark green, which I really like placing in. Oh, I guess this is a medium green. And I leave spots open in the background to shine through these tree leaves. And that makes it look so real. And here's the loose color that I was talking about when you have a watercolor. Your loose colors are back in here, and it's just kind of blobs of green. So now we have to go in and make it look like leaves. So we're just going to tap those a little bit, bring them out, because we can go past the line that we've made, but we just want to throw some different colors in there because it is springtime and these trees have bunches of different colors of leaves. Now I'm going into like a grass green now. Let's go in there and put some of that in there, bring that down, and just tap. You don't need to paint, you just want to tap it. Because you've got color on your brush and it'll be fine to just tap it and wiggle the brush around. It's okay. And that will give you some dimension into your trees. Cover some of this loose green up with some medium greens, and you can even float some water in there if you want. Now I'm going to the 3rd green, which I think is really the darkest green here. I don't have them marked, so yeah, it's the dark green. So we want to put some dark in those leaves. And just puddle them around. Because you know the sun's going to be coming through. And we're just kind of playing around with it. Kind of cover up some of those branches that I've got in there. Makes it look more realistic. But that makes it pretty. You got to have dark wherever there's light. And where there's light, you got to have the dark. It works both ways. But I do need to cover up some of these branches that I got in there, and I'm going to do it with the dark green. The center of the tree will be dark compared to the outside of the tree, because the sun's hitting the outside of the tree and not so much the inside of the tree leaves. And I'm talking about leaves. So see how easy that is to close it up on the branches? This is fun. I like this tapping stuff. And let's bring some dark down there. Because like I said, you got to have the dark with the light. And see how that brings that tree out? It just really pops it right on out. Need to go across some of these branches, or this trunk over here on the inside. And that makes it pop, as we call popping in the art world. We want to make it pop. And you want your picture to pop too. Now, I'm still going to keep up with this dark green here. And I'm going to put a lot of dark green in here too, where these flowers I've got in here. And I'm just going to tap the dark green in there next to that trunk. And those flowers. And make those pop. Because they're in the shadow, kind of. And all you have to do is give the illusion that there is green leaves with the flowers. And painting is illusionary. I haven't finished my flowers there yet. But I don't want to put this dark in before I get my flowers in. And you can just kind of make it kind of invisible, this green, with lots of water. So some of the times I don't even go into the paint, I go just right into the water. And I want to make this rock stand out, so therefore I'm floating. That's what we call floating in the watercolor world, is floating the water into the picture. And just paint around those flowers. It doesn't matter if you hit every one of them just right. Okay. Now we got this other side of flowers over here on the other side of the river, which is farther away from us. And the farther away it goes lighter. So we need lots of water on these flowers, like I did last week. So I'm going to try to get these little watery flowers. Well, it's not, I got a really bright red going there. But I hope you got a little lighter paint. There we go, now it's better. I needed more water, didn't I? Sure did. But that water will fade now into the paper and be lighter. So we'll go on out of here, over here. Real tiny flowers in the background. There we go. Now I gotta kind of go in there and bring some of that water down from the bright flowers and make them lighter. So you can't really make a mistake. It's pretty easy not to make a mistake. And besides, you don't make mistakes on your paintings anyway. They're all perfect. You're all doing good. I had a friend call me and say, "Love your show. And it's like you're sitting in my living room talking to me." I said, "Well, thank you." To me, that was a compliment. So, and as you can see, we're going up the hill. So I'm going to get some more. I'm going to use some of my white, which white doesn't really show up too much in watercolor. But I'm going to have a touch of blue here into my white. And make a little pile on my palette here. I'll get a little bit of red in it, but that's okay. So I'm going to go up here, see how this color fits in. Okay, that's nice because we got the color of the mountains up there in this water now. Although the mountains are so far away that this little river doesn't show a reflection. And there's a great big difference between a shadow and a reflection. I want to put that into your thoughts. Let's go through here. I'm beginning to like this. And as I said, your dirty water can really make a beautiful sky or some mountains in there. So I got a little bit of red in that, which I like, and a little bit of purplish color on that mountain, which I like also. Just going to tap it a little bit in there. This is the hard way of doing it, going back. But however, sometimes we have to do that. It's not that bad. You just kind of dibble-dabble as you've been doing. And leaving some light in there. So I didn't paint all the way across that mountain. On the paper, I put the trees in and kind of forgot that edge of the mountain. So now, since I didn't have it in there, I had to go put it back in there. Okay, those flowers are looking pretty good. Now we're going to go into some green. They've kind of dried a little bit. And I'm using the edge of my brush. You can see that I've got a little square brush here. And I'm going to use the fine edge of it to go into these flowers and put some more green in there along the riverbank. And I'm just going to use the edge because I can get kind of a dribble on it and a fine line. If I push down on it, then it goes farther up into the flowers, which I like that too. There's so many, and the pressure that you put on your brush, laying down paint, also gives you a whole nother structure into your paint. And I guess Mother's Day is coming up, so I hope you're all going to give your mother a spring painting that you have done with Janna and Art and Imagination. That would be great. Now, let's see, I'm looking at this, and you should also get up and put your painting away from you and go in there and see how it looks. Where do I want to go? I got green on my brush. Let's go and bring that down and put that back in the background, those little trees back there. And trees all grow different ways. So if you got a tree in your background, or your backyard rather, go outside, sit with your paper and your watercolor set, and paint that tree in your yard. I have some birdhouses in my yard where the birds come in. Oh, I just love to sit there and paint the birdhouses. And we've got a woodpecker, and she's really kind of fascinating to me. She's got babies in the hole of a tree that we've got, and it is such a joy to sit there and watch her do her thing. She makes a singing sound as she's going to go feed them babies. She comes in to feed them, and boy, what a joy it is. You can't get any better than watching the birds in your yard. And that makes for a beautiful painting. Trust me, you can do it. Because you've had lessons. So we're just having a good time. I wanted to kind of do a little bit more in through the yards here, or the grassy areas. So I should use a bigger brush, but I'm not going to. I didn't pull it out to do it. So I'm going to take some grassy green, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to very lightly hold my brush and just stroke where the fur or the bristles of my brush. I call it fur sometimes. When I'm making fur, this is exactly how I do it, is to bring a little brush and just kind of spread it out and leave some light in there. We want to do that. And we kind of want to just kind of blend that into the lighter green that we got up there. So we're going to do that all along this green area. And like I said, leave some light. And just lightly touch this brush to the paper. And that'll give you some grassy look. And you can change different colors. You don't have to use the same colors, because the grass is all different colors when the sun hits it. So we're getting there. Takes a little time to do this, but however, the reward is at the end. And that's when you paint and you like your painting, that's your reward. You've done something really nice, something really good that you'll enjoy for a very long time. I used to teach in schools and come in as a guest artist for them and show them how an artist really starts painting and paints. And I told them, I said, you're going to have $1 million paper painting when you get done. And they all laughed at me, of course. And I says, well, I'm telling you, when you give this to your parents, I says, you're going to have $1 million painting that they wouldn't even take $1 million for. So I says, you're going to have $1 million painting, and that's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have $1 million painting here when you get done, because whomever you give it to is going to really love it. So I'm going to go back with a little bit of water. Whoops, red water. That's what I get for dirty water, and didn't wipe out my brush. So I'm going to kind of loosen that grass up a little bit with just plain water. Just go in there and just lay your water down on it and let the water do its job. Okay, I thought I would be done with this painting today, but it looks like we may not make it. But we're going to try. Now, over here, farther away, I'm just going to tap that grass in there and just kind of pull it like that and then push up on it so that it just gives you the indication that there's grass back there. And I may go back and with a little bit of dark on this side for underneath the tree. I don't want it too dark. So I'll tap on my sponge and I'll make different movements of my brush on this grass. Because we've already laid down the underpainting on it. So we can just go back in there and just pull some of that out as shadowy, because under this tree it's going to be a little bit darker because of the shadows in it. Oh gosh, I'm beginning to like this even more. I'm going to go back to these flowers over here and bring them up into the water. Just tap, 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 tap. Because you want to leave the imagination to the person that's looking at these flowers, what they are. They go, oh, there's tulips, because they're red and everything. So, and everybody relates red to. Now on the bottom of these over here, I'm going to go a little bit darker, because closer to the ground, they're going to be darker. So I'm just going to tap this color in there. And give that more definition. Okay, we're getting there. And I see that our time is getting close to ending, darn it. And I hope you have enjoyed this painting. and I hope to see you the next time that we're on air. So be happy, paint lots, and enjoy your spring. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have enjoyed the program of Janna's Art and Imagination. So we'll see you next time. So come back and see me. Bye-bye. Remember, anything that you can imagine, you can draw. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.